Howdy folks, Synthetic Mason here, and today we break it up with Sergeant Kup. That's right folks, way long overdue here. This is hands down my favorite Transformer, period. I know he more or less existed only in the movie and some Headmaster stuff, but I don't care. Um, Sergeant Kup is hardcore. Original wrecker, only guy to take on anybody and everybody, rocking teal. um, but yeah, so I've got Kup, and you'll notice a tiny little bot there as well. That is Recoil. So BX Bricks did, was it Sledge Slinger? That two nose cone jet, killer build. Go check it out. But in there he has a target master for him, and it got me thinking, and I was like, well, I want to make a target master. So I made Recoil here, and then I also made Nightstick, who is Cyclonus's target master. So hopefully down the line I'll get him, but he's either purple or dark blue, depending on which version you find, and either way, I don't have enough. Anywho, on to what you're here for, Sergeant Kup and Recoil. Oh, where do I start? I'm so excited, by the way. I've been wanting to build a Sergeant Kup forever, and for the longest, like, we didn't have teal, so I was like, well, I can make them green, but hell, I don't even have that much green, to be honest. So, like, currently, my green exists in Hound. But anyways, so Sergeant Kup. Oh, what's the set number? I got it here. Sorry, unprepared, live. So creator set, I didn't even open the instructions. 31062. It's the weird robot. So the teal I've collected over the years, and then the other day I bought that set. This was after I made Recoil, because I made Recoil and he turned out so good. I was like, well, I have to make Kup now. So yeah, and once again I'm psyched. He turned out really good. So let's start with the drum roll. Before we move on to Sergeant Kup, I'm gonna, well, for size comparison, so this is Recoil. You're aware of Headmasters because of the whole Titans Return thing. But forever ago, there was OG Headmasters, which was not every Transformer character, but just a handful, and that was a fun backstory. But anyways, there was also Target Masters, which were tiny Transformers that would turn into the weapons of other Transformers. So let's get on to Recoil here. Little dude. Heads on stud friction if you want to move it about. Otherwise, he has shoulder, a sort of elbow, a tilt. He can kick. Not a whole lot of articulation, but certainly more articulation than the actual Headmaster. And I don't think I'm much larger than said OG Headmaster. But onto transformation for Recoil here. We're going to start by straightening his arms and bringing them to an upward position. Nightstick turned out way more simplistic. But anyways, so now that we have him in his pick me, as though we were playing kickball position, you're going to take those arms and then move them in. All right. Now we're going to take the back of the legs, which are going to be the barrels of the guns, move them down. We will first rotate at the waist and then we will rotate behind the waist on that jumper plate. This is the only thing I can think of to have him move slightly back the hair that I needed him to move, but it works. So now, I'm going to flip up the barrels, split the legs a little bit, and we will rotate at the knee-ish. He doesn't really have knees. And then bring that back down. Make sure they're good and straight with one another. And then we will fold that down. And check that out. Pew pew. So in the original version, I had it transform like it's supposed to, like it's not supposed to rotate on the legs, and that left the openings there, which on the original, it had these nice little back of the leg opening spots on top that look cool. I tried to mimic that. I couldn't keep it and position the gun correctly. Plus the arms are actually supposed to stay back, but that's because on a lot of target masters, the arms didn't move at all, and I wanted posability. But I think he turned out good, and his size isn't crazy over the top for Sergeant Kup. For instance, this is Kup's standard gun. It's roughly the same comparison to the original Target Master and Kup's original gun. I took some liberties on the gun. I ran out of all my small pieces in teal for Kup, so sand gray it was for the remainder of the gun. So yeah, recoil. And on to Kup. So for starters, he rolls. Gosh darn it. He's got 4 tires. He had 4 tires. Put that back. 4 tires. Roll nicely. Yeah. So I really desperately wanted to put a minifigure in here. It's not happening. But I need to let that go. I perpetually, anytime I build a Transformer, I'm like, I need to get a minifigure in here. But when you're trying to figure out how to design Megatron and put a minifigure in him, the insanity's gotcha. So careful. Sometimes when building a Transformer, like the original Transformers, you can't get a Diaclone in every one of them. Or Microman, or whatever the heck the pilots for the original Transformers were called. Anyways, so, Sergeant Kup, if you want him to hold his gun in alt mode, I was about to do it off camera, you take the little top clip, turn it to the side, and then it kind of just clips on and fits in the bed of his truck. I also really wanted to say something real quick. So, once again, Kup, favorite Transformer ever. I love his little Cybertronian El Camino look. Look at it. It's car truck. It's an El Camino. He's the king of the road, okay? That universe figure where they put him in a kind of truck, it was cool. But if you break it down, Kup is an El Camino, okay? No arguments. That's what he is. And if you see otherwise, you're wrong, and I'm sorry. El Camino. Anyways, this is going to be 40 minutes long if I don't hold back here. So, El Camino mode. Sci-fi El Camino mode, that's right. So, real quick, I think he's supposed to have like 3 decals, one on each leg, and then the one in the front. I went subtle. I just wanted the one. So yeah, he's got pseudo tailgate. There's a little gap. I love the orange and the teal, so I've got a little splash here and there. He has a subtle bit of visible head syndrome. He's staring up. So soon. This is the best I could do. He is, once again, weird sci-fi El Camino, but it's an interesting Cybertronian vehicle. So it's hard to finagle transforming bits into this tiny package. In the comments, some of you think I was almost going to make this entire light gray section the same dark gray. I'm kind of feeling the light gray, mostly because I have all of those parts in light gray, whereas in dark gray, I'm missing a few of these. But tell me what you think. If you think it'd look better in dark gray, I'm just curious. Ideally, predominantly teal. It's not what I have. I am happy with how this turned out, though. So, real quick, while I have him in his alt mode, you also, because gosh darn it, needs to, you can get Recoil in there, and he acts as a nice little turret that ties onto the back just like he should. So that's fun. Alrighty, so on to transformation. Yep, I'm excited too. For starters, so for convenience, because I like to transform my stuff a couple of times and then shoot the video, because otherwise I just break stuff or I forget order of transformation. But we're going to start with the front and then work to the back. So for starters, we're going to take the front section here and move it a little out of the way for us. We're going to begin by raising this tab on the top, and we will bring up the windscreen and then fold it out, and as we do, the sort of wheel wells will fold up or lean back, and now we're going to lean them forward. His head assembly will come up, and then we're going to toss all that to the back for a moment. All right. Now this is what took me forever. I have the arms in here and the tires on there. Big thing a lot of Transformers do is like the rotating shoulder tire. For years I've tried to figure out how to do it. This came to me the other night. I need to replace that. Make a match. Anyways, so we're going to start by wiggling out the arms and then rotating them around. We'll just kick them out there. Do the same to the other side. Try to keep this on camera so you guys can see it. So yeah, you see what I did there? Mind you, the entirety of this bot is held together at the core by a 2x5 I finagled in there. Yeah, there's some complicated Lego math going on in here. All right, so while that's in its open position, I'm going to try to get this on camera. Shift, 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 shift. Don't break. Okay. Now we're going to take that front assembly and finagle it right over the top of these wheels and drop that down. Oh yeah. So now those little almost gas tank pieces on the side kind of act as the side of his belly. We'll then push in the windshield so that it sits as low as it'll go. Bring up Kup's noggin, which you can't see. Yeah. Oh, come on, camera. Play with me. All right. Oh yeah, we'll close the little hatch on the back. And now I like to do this sort of half over thing with the wheels so that they're kind of bunched together. You can directly put them together, which was the original design, just to get them out the way, like move them to the center. But it pushes his head too far forward. His head ended up being slightly bigger than I'd originally planned for. But look at that mug. Yeah, that guy's going to tell you some tales. All right, so on to his lower body. Remember that little piece in the back that made up the pseudo tail bed? That now goes forward, comes up, and acts as a pseudo pelvis. And now for the legs, we're going to go down to the bottom and actually separate these. See if I can do it without breaking everything. Ta-da. All right. Back to the front. And we're going to lean up and turn. And then I have one of those 1x brackets. So he has this nice side pivot. Same on the other side. Don't break. Yeah, at the core, not as sturdy as I'd like him to be. So we're going to flip forward the feet. He does have 90-degree knees. Kind of toe that just goes forward and back. And then I gave him, let's see if I can get these out. Come on. I didn't want to break it. Darn it. So he has these supposed to be fold out heel spurs. Come on. Yeah. Because I found he was difficult to stand otherwise. Sorry. Got a little quiet trying to focus on this guy. Come on, Kup. Alright, I know you don't want to be here. You want to be fighting a war somewhere, but let's smile for the folks at home. I told you I need to hire a cameraman. I got crap in the background. Anyways, so yes, this is Sergeant Kup. Yeah. So as far as bot mode, the head has got a really nice down and up, and then it does turn, but it's on stud friction, and because of the way it's attached in there, it's delicate. For the arms, you have like sort of a double shoulder, and then shoulder rotation, elbow, stud friction for a turn at the elbow. No wrist because he has tiny hands, but hey. There goes that heel spur. So yeah, the legs, you have an in and out, although it's snug. You have a side to side, also snug. Rotation, that knee, yeah. Oh, then I gotta show you this. Okay. Yeah, this is like my longest video, and I'm just getting way off topic. But this is just ridiculous. Are you ready? That's right, folks. Dreams come true.
This summer, coming to a theater near you, Synthetic Mason as Sergeant Kup.
Alright. I'm getting weird. It's late. Let's wrap this up. Alright, so Sergeant Kup, he's got... Oh, come on. You want to hold it? There you go. He's got his standard Sergeant Kuppy gun. Yeah. And then let's get recoil here. That's right. Alrighty, folks. So this has been Synthetic Mason, bringing you Lego Transformers Kup and Recoil. Thanks again. As always, tell me what you think, folks. Please leave those comments. Mostly, admittedly, I do this for myself. It's therapy. But I always love hearing what you guys tell me about stuff. Like I said, if there's something you think I could have done better, let me know. We're sort of a community together. We're stronger in larger numbers. I think it's mathematically sound. Anyways, thanks for bringing it up, folks. Bye.